My family and I had the privilege to live for over 2 years on the beautiful island of Stronsay in the Orkney Islands. It is most definitely worth a trip if you're ever in the area. Not only is the scenery amazing, but the people are kind and very welcoming. Like many places in Scotland, there are probably endless tales that can be told about the lovely island of Stronsay. From the legend of a witch who would sit in Mill Bay and cause storms to rise up, to a house that was made out of a lifeboat. The lifeboat, pictured here, is believed to be from the ship the Athenia, the first United Kingdom ship to be sunk by the Germans in the Second World War. Perhaps the story of that will be a tale for another video. Today I would like to share a little bit about the story of the Stronsay Beast. As I like to keep my videos short, I won't be dealing with the story in any great detail. If you find it interesting, may I encourage you to look at the various articles that can be found about it. Plus, in many ways, the story is an unsolved mystery, and one that many have different opinions about. So, since I am not an expert, all I can do is share what I have read or heard. It would be quite an understatement to say that the weather around Stronsay is often a bit windy. But in the year 1808, it seems that it was especially stormy. Shortly after one storm, a fisherman named John Peace noticed seabirds circling a large object on the rocks near a beach. At first, he assumed it was a whale, but as he got closer, it appeared different from any whale he had ever seen. It appeared to have a strange fin or arms, which he raised up with a boat hook. A few days later, another storm pushed a large object up onto the beach, where it was examined by several people. Three of those who did so was John Peace, the fisherman, this time in more detail, Thomas Forthingham, a carpenter from Kirkwall, and a local man named George Shearer. Importantly, all three of these would later give sworn testimony before the local justice of the peace as to what they saw. All three claimed to have measured the unusual creature, Forthingham making use of his measuring equipment as a carpenter, and all three agreed that the creature was 55 feet long from head to tail. George Shearer was asked to describe the creature to an artist named Petrie. It was this drawing that became the basis for all other drawings of the creature, such as the one seen here. All three of the witnesses were also asked to swear in their statements before the justice of the peace that the drawing was an accurate representation of the creature, and all three said that other than minor details, they felt that the picture was indeed accurate. The beast is described as having 6 legs, fins, or wing-like appendages, a rather small head for its body, gray-colored skin, and a bristled mane from its shoulder down to its tail. News quickly spread to other parts of the UK, and in Edinburgh the Natural History Society became interested. After studying the reports, and perhaps even some of the bristles and vertebrae of the creature, led by a leading doctor and a professor of anatomy named John Barclay, they declared it to be a new species, naming it Halcydrus pontificani, after an 18th century Norwegian bishop who had collected accounts of sea monsters and had speculated of the existence of large sea serpents. Others were not as convinced. The chief voice in opposition to the idea that this creature, already known as the Stronsay beast, was some kind of sea serpent, was a London surgeon and naturalist named Sir Everard Home, who, after reading the reports and looking at some of the preserved vertebrae, came to the conclusion that this was in fact a decomposed basking shark. The discussion as to what exactly this creature was continues to this day. I will just mention a few of the points that have been raised. Basking sharks are found in the area around Stronsay, and are indeed very large, typically growing to about 26 feet long, the largest ever recorded being about 40 feet long. But others point out that this is still well short of the 55-foot length recorded by all the witnesses. Also, it is pointed out that many who saw the creature would have been familiar with basking sharks, and they clearly did not feel that this was one. Those like Home, who put forward the idea of a basking shark, have dismissed the claims of the witnesses as either exaggerated or mistakes. For example, Home, who of course never saw the actual creature, claimed that it must have been only 30 feet long. Others say that the witnesses are to be relied upon, and among the differences noted between a basking shark and the beast that is pictured are that basking sharks have a very large head, which it uses to filter feed on plankton, as opposed to the beast, which is described as having a relatively small head compared to its body. Also, the beast was noted to have six appendages, which are not described as being like shark fins. And then there is what is described as a mane, complete with bristles. On the other hand, the skin of the creature and its color do indeed sound similar to a shark. Interestingly, there is a possibility that some of these questions could eventually be answered, for they are thought to be samples of the creature's vertebrae and bristles in the Natural Museum. Over the years, there have been requests that these items be tested. For example, that they be compared by a laboratory in Florida that has a database of all known shark species. But this is yet to happen. For now, what the Stronsay beast was remains a mystery. But what is certain is that Stronsay itself is worth a visit. For all of its small size, Stronsay is indeed massive. Its views, beaches, and wonderful people are truly special. Until next time, goodbye.